Margaret Atwood, The Handmaid's Tale. Step into the chilling world of Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale, a narrative set in a dystopian future where theocratic rule defines every facet of life. Expect to explore themes like power, control, and rebellion amidst an oppressive regime where women's freedoms are starkly curtailed. The story unfolds in the Republic of Gilead, formerly known as the United States, now ruled by religious zealots who dictate societal norms with grim severity. The protagonist, Offred, offers readers a lens into the disturbingly structured hierarchy of this society, where women exist primarily for procreation or servitude. This summary delves into Offred's journey, a tapestry of small rebellions amid the crushing weight of authoritarian rule, uncovering both the personal and political ramifications of totalitarianism, while reflecting on contemporary societal issues such as reproductive rights and the subjugation of women. Brace yourself for a narrative that's both a cautionary tale and a mirror reflecting today's global socio-political landscape.
Seeds of a Dystopia. Imagine a world not so different from our own, where the familiar name, United States of America, has been replaced by the ominous Republic of Gilead after a religious coup in the early 2000s. This transformation ushers in an era of strict theocracy under the Sons of Jacob, a group whose iron grip controls every aspect of life. In Gilead, conformity is key. Strangers greet with solemn blessings like, "Blessed be the fruit," instead of a casual, "hello." The wall looms large and forbidding, its mere presence a stern reminder to stay within sanctioned paths. Behind this oppressive facade are the eyes, the ever-watchful secret police quick to pounce on any sign of dissent. Punishment in Gilead is severe and swift. Transgressors disappear to radioactive colonies, if they are lucky. Others find their fate in execution, their bodies displayed on the wall, a grim deterrent for all. Life in Gilead is sharply divided by gender, with particular constraints imposed on women. The social hierarchy sorts women into rigid classes, each distinguished by a specific color of dress. Wives wear teal, enjoying a certain status but with influence limited to their homes, as they are married to powerful commanders. The rare fertile women, known as handmaids, play a critical role in addressing Gilead's fertility crisis, as birth rates have plummeted alarmingly. Clad in distinctive red, they are tasked with bearing children for commanders, devoid of identity outside their assigned role. Names are stripped away, replaced by an of followed by the name of their commander, marking ownership rather than individuality. Wrapped in uniforms that obscure their features, these women navigate society under the constant supervision of guardians. Marthas, in their gray garb, keep the commander's households running smoothly, while aunts take charge of handmaidens' conduct and education, uniquely allowed to read and write. The shadowy figure of the Jezebels exists on society's fringe, while unwomen, who defy state dictates, find themselves banished to contaminated edges of civilization. Margaret Atwood, the author of The Handmaid's Tale, drew inspiration for Gilead from historical tyrannies and 20th-century events, such as World War II and the Iron Curtain. She recognized how rapidly democracies could morph into dystopian regimes not unlike Gilead. Despite initial fears that readers might dismiss the premise as implausible, political shifts over time have proven otherwise. Notably, in the USA, the overturning of Roe v. Wade in 2022 stirred echoes of Gilead's doctrine, challenging women's autonomy. The chilling atmosphere crafted by Atwood resonates deeply with growing populist movements worldwide, further reflected in the powerful symbolism of women donning the handmaid's red robes in protest of eroding rights. The narrative centers on Offred, whose story represents the struggle for identity and freedom amidst suffocating repression. In telling Offred's tale, Atwood not only envisioned a dystopia but also sounded a cautionary note on the fragility of rights hard-won and easily lost. The Silent Rebellion. Imagine waking up in a world where every aspect of your life is controlled, and even your dreams of escape are patrolled by authority. This is the reality for Offred, a woman living in the grim confines of a repurposed school gymnasium, now a re-education center ominously named the Red Center. Here, Potential rebels like her are kept in check by guards who avert their eyes and ants-wielding cattle prods, determined to convert fertile women into compliant handmaidens of the newly formed Republic of Gilead. In this rigid society, power and control are the currency, and no one wields them more insidiously than Aunt Lydia. She preaches that Gilead is a sanctuary compared to the unruly past of the United States, a place plagued by rampant sexuality and violence. Her sermons echo with dark irony, urging the handmaidens to find comfort in their servitude under the guise of protection and respect. Before her life was stolen by Gilead's oppressive regime, Offred had a vibrant identity. She savored freedom, completing college, earning her living, defying conventions with her wardrobe and habits. There was love, too, with a man named Luke who left his wife to build a life with Offred and their daughter. But as the fanatical sons of Jacob gained power, their happiness grew precarious. In a bid for freedom, they forged passports and attempted an escape, but the system tightened its snare. Caught at the border, the family was torn apart, its future scattered and opaque. Transferred to the home of Commander Fred Waterford, Offred's life is distilled into a series of regulated routines. Serena Joy, Fred's wife, is a ghost of her former self, a television evangelist now steeped in bitterness despite her complicity in Gilead's coup. Their lives intersect each month in a grotesque ceremony, a ritual binding Offred to the commander's household in desperate hope for a child she must birth for Serena. Nonetheless, under her compliant exterior, Offred kindles sparks of defiance. She steals small mercies, a bit of butter for her skin, a clandestine daffodil for her solace, trivial acts that whisper of resistance. Offred's room becomes a sanctuary for her quiet insubordination. Here, she conjures fleeting autonomy, nourishing her spirit with hidden messages left by those before her. No like te bastards carborundum, a defiant script reminds her, don't let the bastards grind you down. Yet, her rebellion remains veiled, for she is no hero of grand gestures. Her subdued defiance mirrors Serena's discontent with the status quo. Offred's journey lays bare the unsettling ease with which ordinary individuals can be swept into totalitarian regimes that obliterate personal freedoms under the guise of order. Her evolving discontent and moments of rebellion underscore the novel's critique of societal collusion. Through the prism of Offred's experiences, author Margaret Atwood probes the complicity of women in Gilead's misogynistic structure. Aunt Lydia, though trapped in a female body, seeks power within her limited scope, perpetuating the patriarchy's silencing of women around her. Meanwhile, Serena clings to whatever remnants of power and privilege remain in her new reality, highlighting the complexities of human behavior under duress. Offred's confined existence quietly challenges the notion of rebellion, revealing it as less monumental revolution and more a series of courageous, albeit small, acts of defiance. Her ability to maintain a semblance of self in a system designed to obliterate individuality offers a poignant reflection on the resilience of the human spirit amid oppression. Each silence broken, each small theft of agency, builds toward her resistance, challenging a patriarchal society in questioning the very nature of power, subjugation, and freedom. Through Offred's eyes, the narrative unfolds as both a singular struggle and a universal cautionary tale about the ordinary's potential for resistance in extraordinary circumstances. The chilling words of Aunt Lydia, that even tyranny can become mundane, serve as a stark reminder of how normalization can suffocate rebellion. Yet, Offred's narrative hints that hope's embers persist, nestled in small acts of rebellion and the enduring human desire for autonomy and justice. Breaking chains in Gilead. In the meticulously controlled realm of Gilead, Offred navigates a precarious existence. Her freedoms may be restricted, yet she remains a spectator to the quiet unraveling of her world. Her relationship with the commander morphs into a cryptic companionship. This connection deepens through clandestine meetings where they indulge in forbidden games of Scrabble, an activity deemed subversively illicit for women whose literacy is stifled by Gilead's stringent laws. In these unconventional trysts, echoes of contraband sophistication emerge when he provides Offred with clandestine treasures like old Vogue magazines. Amidst these interactions, Offred juggles the innate power dynamics at play and dares to savor these rare moments of intimacy. However, lurking in this fragile serenity is the gnawing threat of failure. In Gilead's rigid society, where infertility is inexplicably a female flaw, Offred faces the grim prospect of the Red Center's punitive consequences if her condition remains unchanged. A clandestine offer from her doctor to aid Offred in conceiving via undisclosed methods underscores the systemic disregard for women's autonomy. The unspoken truth regarding the commander's infertility becomes apparent when Serena Joy, outlining a cautious proposition, suggests Offred have a child with Nick, the commander's chauffeur, and pass the child as the commander's heir. Offred rejects her doctor's advances but acquiesces to Serena's plan, driven by an elusive promise of information regarding her daughter's whereabouts, a glimpse into a life ripped from her grasp. These surreptitious encounters with Nick grow into a secret rebellion of their own, even as Offred is haunted by the tormented reality that her daughter's existence lingers just beyond reach. Offred's mundane rituals are shaken when Offglen, her shopping partner, unfurls her identity as a member of Mayday, a covert resistance aiming to dismantle Gilead's oppressive government. Entrapped between her reluctant alliance with Mayday's cause and the torturous complexities of her ties to both the commander and Nick, Offred's allegiance remains ambivalent. At a grotesque ritualized execution dubbed a particution, Offglen's rebellious spark ignites when she strikes a prisoner, later revealed as Mayday's own, to spare him a harrowing demise. Offred, torn by the inherent risks of such defiance, grapples with admiration for Mayday's resolve and fear for her own fate in the system's iron grip. Offred's apprehensions are propelled when routine transforms into trepidation. Offglen vanishes, replaced by a new woman offering chilling whispers of her predecessor's tragic surrender to a world closing in. Despite palpable dread, salvation beckons, though draped in ambiguity. A black van, synonymous with doom, arrives for Offred, yet Nick, insinuating allegiance to Mayday, assures her of a rescue mission. As Offred is ferried into an uncertain future, caught in a web of potential truth or devised betrayal, the reader is left pondering the fates intertwined in the van's shadow. The tale's conclusion remains a portrait of ambiguity, blurring the lines between end and inception. In the future, an academic symposium, chronicled nearly 2 centuries later, reveals an eerily detached analysis of Offred's narrative. Professor James Peixoto, conveying a cold, analytical account, unwinds the crumbling legacy of Gilead, framed as mere historical artifact. His indifference to Offred's suffering underscores a persistent societal failure to acknowledge the unending cycle of misogyny. Through this layered narrative, Margaret Atwood crafts a stark warning: even should advanced societies thrive, oppressive undercurrents may linger closer than perceived. Offred's fragmented voice serves as a cautionary beacon, urging vigilance against the subtle erosion of human rights veiled in shadows at the edges of modernity.
As we wrap up our exploration of The Handmaid's Tale, key takeaways resonate with a potent sense of urgency and relevance. Offred's tale serves as a haunting reminder of how fragile personal freedoms can be under authoritarian regimes, where even the most intimate aspects of one's life are subjected to control. The novel emphasizes themes of resistance, remarking on both the extraordinary courage required to oppose tyranny and the insidious normalcy such regimes can impose over time. Atwood's prescient narrative forces us to reflect on the parallels between Gilead's dystopian reality and present-day political climates, especially concerning women's rights and bodily autonomy. Although Offred's fate remains unknown, her story is a clarion call for vigilance and activism against systemic oppression. Ultimately, Atwood challenges us to remain alert and proactive to ensure history does not mimic the fictional horrors of Gilead, urging readers to hold on to hope and the power of individual agency amidst adversity.